as the state's most successful wrestling program. Yesterday, Woodford County won their state record 6th title in front of cheering fans at Atherton High School in Louisville. Joe Carr Jr. started it off in the 112-pound class when he defeated Grady Peterson of Christian County. Now, Carr is the son of assistant coach Joe Carr, who, coming up here, this is great. Joe Carr does a flip after his son won it all. Fans back in Woodford County are loving this because he said that he would never do this, but he never thought his son would win the state championship right there, and he does it. Teammate Mac Hecker would win the 171-pound classes. Woodford County is placed in the top 3 of the 6 of the last state meets, but haven't won it all since '77. Well, yesterday that changed. Congratulations to 13th-year head coach Rusty Park and the Yellow Jackets.
When Kentucky makes the Mount Rushmore of high school wrestling, the first face that's going to get carved into the stone is my guest here today, Joe. I'm excited to get to do this. I'm here today with Woodford County's own Joe Carr Jr. You may know him as JoJo. We're here at Carr Wrestling Academy. Joe, thanks for having me down here today, man. This is awesome.
You're welcome, welcome. Glad you're able to come.
When I started this series, the first name, I say this in every video, but I'm not even joking when I say this, the first name that everybody asked me about was, when are you going to get to Joe Carr? You got to do Joe Carr. What about Joe Carr? I got up with Joe. Him and his dad are the coach of Carr Wrestling Academy. I referee high school wrestling, as you guys know. We met up at actually the state tournament this year. They honored the '97 Woodford County team. You'll see more about that later. My man here had a big hand in that. They honored the 1997 Woodford County State Championship team. I got with Joe, and he agreed to do it, and I'm so grateful. We have all 4 years of Joe's wins. Now, Joe is a 4-time state champion. He was in the finals 5 times. He was the first 8th grader to win the KHSAA State Wrestling Championship. But Joe, enough of me talking. Tell us, how did wrestling find you? How did you find wrestling? I don't think it was too hard in your household, but for people that don't know, kind of tell us the story. How did you find wrestling?
Well, I don't really think that I found it. I think that it found me.
Okay.
You know, I was born into the sport. Our family has a rich history of wrestling. Actually, even before I even knew even about folk style, I always knew about freestyle before I even started folk style. And I grew up watching my Uncle Nate, who was an Olympian in the '88 Olympics, bronze medalist, wrestle. And my first, I guess, knowledge of really wrestling was watching my uncle wrestle.
When your uncle's an Olympian, wrestling kind of finds you, doesn't it, Joe?
Yes, it does.
And, of course, your dad, Joe Carr Sr., he's been an absolute mainstay in Kentucky wrestling. He wrestled for the University of Kentucky. If I'm not mistaken, your dad was a 3-time SEC champion?
Yes, 3-time SEC champion, 3-time All-American,
that's
NCAA All-American.
So, wrestling runs deep in the Carr family blood.
Yes.
1993 rolls around. You're an 8th grader. Yeah, I would have to imagine you started wrestling when you were how old? Probably 4, 5, 6, in the womb. I mean, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I mean, I've pretty much always wrestled. I didn't start actually wrestling competitively until age 6.
Okay.
But was always wrestling even before that.
Now, 8th grade, 1993, 103-pound weight class. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, your first match of the state tournament was against Kevin Lewis of North Hardin. It says that you won the match. It doesn't say how. You go to the quarterfinals. You wrestle Travis Culliver from Louisville Eastern. It does not say how you won that, but you won it. You get to Martez Green of Louisville Fairdale. You win a close 2-1 decision. You remember anything about that match?
No, not really. Not
okay.
really.
No, as much wrestling as you've seen, I can imagine.
Right.
But it says going in, not sure if it's the state finals or if it's like your overall record says you're 41-1.
Correct.
Going in.
Yes,
okay.
That's what it is.
Now, of course, we're not going to tell you how the match ends. We're going to let it play out. A person that you're going to see later on in the series when I go to Hoptown, you wrestle Grady Peterson from Christian County. Had you wrestled Grady before that you can remember that year?
That year, we wrestled earlier in the season, and I I think I blew the match wide open. I think I ended up wrestling him in the Hoptown tournament. I think I wrestled him, and we ended up meeting again in the state finals.
This is just incredible. I'm going to get you, and I'm going to get Grady, because both of you ended up being state champions.
Yes.
Multiple. I think Grady's a multiple-time state champion as well in the couple years following this. So you're in 8th grade. You're in the finals. What is 8th grade Joe Carr thinking when you're in the state championships of high school? I mean, I'm sure your dad's probably giving you advice, but just what are you thinking? Where's your mindset if you can remember, all those matches ago? What were you thinking about your first state finals?
It's actually something that I'll never forget, and I do remember this because I actually was sitting down, or actually in the upper bleachers, the very, very top corner in my 7th grade year, and I was watching Bobby Van Hoos wrestle in the state finals the previous year before, and I had started just a little bit my 7th grade year. I got beat out, and I remember sitting there and I said, next year I'm going to be here. And it came around that next year that I was there in the state finals, and I had an opportunity to, in a sense, there was a lot of, in a sense, kind of like naysayers. You're an 8th grader, you can't do it, up and down. We had a lot of, there were actually several seniors that were wrestling 103 pounds that year, and which was Martez. I remember him.
Martez is a senior. You've got Jeff Adams from Johnson Central as a senior, Matt Johnson from Lafayette, Brandon Pape from Dixie Heights. So you've got 4 or 5 seniors in a 16-man bracket, so that's a pretty loaded bracket. Yeah.
And at the state tournament, state finals, I knew it was my opportunity. I knew I had wrestled Grady before, but I actually thought before that I would be able to, go out and do what I did last time, but the match was actually a lot tighter, and Grady made it real tough on me.
Absolutely. Now, we have the video. We have all 4 of Joe's state championship wins. Joe was able to find his 1993 on VHS. I've not got to watch it. I've just seen a little bit of the highlights, just enough to find it on the VHS tape, so I'm excited to see it. The next 3 videos below this are going to be Joe's 95, 96, and 97 videos. You need to watch those as well. Joe, enough of me talking. You ready to watch this?
Of course, yeah.
Let's do it, man. All right, you guys are seeing what we're seeing. We're at Louisville Atherton High School, the 1993 state championships, 103 pounds. Joe, you off camera, you were talking about you guys having like final singlets, championship singlets. What did it mean to you be the first 8th grader to get to wear that Woodford County state final singlet out on the mats, knowing this, I could make history?
I don't, actually, to tell you the truth, I don't really think a lot of that even played in my mind.
Okay. Fair enough.
My goal at that point in time was just really trying to focus on, trying to win this next match and do what the age really wasn't a thing. When I had wrestled, actually, Martez was one of the guys that was picked to actually make the finals, and so he was a senior, and so a lot of kind of drama before that match was more of a hype than kind of like this.
Right.
This kind of just made my focus of like, hey, I need to go out and wrestle. I need to go out so I can perform the way that I needed to.
I understand. Now, you mentioned Bobby Van Hoos a minute ago. Actually, we're filming this on the 25th of May, 2022. I talked to Bobby last night. He has his 1992 video, just got to find it. But he actually wrestled Martez in the 92 state championship in the first round, and Bobby won an overtime decision over Martez. So he was, what I've heard about Martez Green just from you and Bobby, he was a tough wrestler. So you had a very tough path. So we got it on VCR. I got to reach up here and hit play. Let's do it. All right, so starts off here. We're on our knees. What are we trying to work here?
So this is what we would call a front headlock,
right?
And or a short offensive series here. Trying to score on a front headlock, but he ends up circling out of bounds.
Right. So we're back neutral.
Yeah, wrestling neutral on the feet.
What was your go-to takedown? I'm sure it evolved over time, but as a 8th grader, what was or as a younger wrestler, what was your favorite takedown?
It was a sweep.
Two.
And this was kind of like a surprise because he hadn't taken me down before.
Right.
And, we only wrestled once before, but he got a takedown. And at the time, I really didn't have that much strength. I wasn't as strong.
Right.
And ended up going on bottom, which is not my best area, especially at this time of my wrestling career.
All right, so you stand up. He's trying to go out of bounds. Nope, keeps you in.
Yeah, I try to do some.
Now,
this is not what I would call great wrestling, but
hey.
he's
So there you go. You get.
Got him.
Like we got a reversal.
Got a reversal.
Now, what was your best top breakdown right here?
It's actually I would use the ball and chain series.
Right.
I did that a lot, and when I wrestled him the time before, I put him on his back a whole lot of times using that. I remember actually talking to Jim Matney. He started calling it the JoJo.
Oh, did he really?
So I remember he told me that.
Right, so he's trying for that switch. You step over like you're supposed to.
Just keep him down. He keeps trying to hit me with another switch again. Basically, just trying to get back to my ball and chain.
Right.
I ended up having to choose in bottom.
Okay.
He's back on top. Trying to stand up and get away.
You can see your dad over in the corner in the suit. I can only imagine how animated. Knowing about him now, many times I've got to be with him at meets and stuff. I can only imagine with you out there.
Yeah. Have to get better on the bottom. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just walking around.
Oh, we're still in. Nope, he calls you out. Nope, we're still in.
Still in. Had a little locked hands right there.
Come on, Grady, what are you doing to us?
Trying to get away, because I think the match is, if I'm not mistaken, I think the match is 2-2. Because he got a takedown, I got a reversal.
Yep. I believe.
And the match is coming down towards the end.
So he's trying to run like a head lever or something there.
Call that a little head lever.
Could you hear the crowd, anybody like in family or whatever yelling for you that you can remember?
It's kind of hard. One voice I always hear is my dad's voice for sure.
Yeah.
When I'm out there wrestling, it's just a lot of Joe, get up, use your head, blah blah blah, this, stuff like that.
There we go.
There, I get the reversal.
Get the reversal, okay. So now it's 4-2. You go for a trip.
Yeah, trip him out of bounds, get a little standing reversal there on the edge of the mat, get a takedown. And basically, I don't think he's ever escaped from me. Mm-hmm. And I was able to keep enough pressure on him, keep him down. Just basic tight waist chop and running the same little ball and chain. And just keeping him down and basically just riding him out. There is a little series that comes up where he gets close to getting an escape right here in the little switch position. Yeah, right there.
You go, you step over again. You got a really good defense for that.
Yeah, we actually worked on that position a lot. We call it switch, re-switch.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I don't know. I never throw legs, but I end up throwing legs. And he tries to shake me off. And
I mean, as tall as you are and as long as your legs are, I figured you'd be like a leg riding machine, for real.
Yeah.
So
now we're coming down to probably the last couple of 30 seconds or so to the match.
Mm-hmm.
And he does a little roll. And my leg gets in there.
Yep.
And I come close to kind of holding him down. I just throw both of my legs in because they happen to get in the air, and I end up doing a little force half there, running the clock out.
Right here, are you feeling like I'm too high, or?
I know I'm high, but I have a half Nelson in,
Yeah.
but I want to try to keep the pressure on him, and then I almost end up, you know, kind of like turning him also at the same time, but I didn't want to turn and come on top of me.
Right.
So I kind of like bailed when I actually probably really could have got back points there. But that's the end
There
of the
it
match.
is.
Start jumping up.
Jumping up.
Then
and-
ends up doing a little round off in the corner over there, which they call a backflip.
That was absolutely beautiful.
It's the
One
first
proud
time.
papa.
Yeah, it was an exciting time,
Oh.
exciting moment.
I can,
You know,
I can imagine.
Able to, you know, anytime you're able to reach your goals and achieve something that you have set in mind, you know, it's definitely a great feeling. Jump into my dad's
Yep.
arms and he picks me up. I actually remember crying like I did it.
There you are on the podium.
Yeah. You know, standing on the podium there, just excited to, you know, start this kind of like journey chapter of wrestling. You
Now,
know?
in '93, you guys also won the team state title,
Right.
correct? And
Yeah.
I think that was the first one since '77. Is that?
Yes, that was actually the first time, you know, that we won it, and you know, it was just big for the team and big individually, and everybody doing their part individually, coming together as a team to, you know, get a state title.
Now, of course, you guys, in the last video of of Joe's on the last of the four, you're going to see some trophies and stuff that he's won over the years. But do you have your medals put up someplace, or your brackets, or?
I do. They're not put up like you would think. They're kind of tucked away in the garage.
I got you. I
You know, I
understand.
know most people would be like, "Why would you do that?" But you know, they're. You know, to me, I just believe that you know, state titles are something that, you know, that you do try to win on a regular basis, and so. Even with my rings, I never really wear them that much because I'm always trying to get the next one.
I can understand that. I can understand that. So, first eighth grader to win the Kentucky High School State Championship. Woodford County wins state championship first time since 1977. You've got 4 more years of high school. I'm sure as soon as you got your medal, you're thinking, I'm ready for 1994. I'm ready to do this again, right?
Definitely.
Speaking of which, Joe, like I said in the beginning, he wins 3 more. He's a 4-time state champion. Guess what's coming in the video below this? Joe's 1995 state championship. So we're going to wrap this up, put a bow on it. We'll see you guys in 1995.
All right, see ya.
State championship. The Yellow Jackets had 3 individual state titleists along the way. This is the 6th state wrestling crown for Woodford County. Their first, though, since 1977. Woodford County is coached by Rusty Parks. Joe Carr is the assistant coach, and congratulations to one of the best wrestling programs year in, year out.